I see you, movie, trying to drop those Finding Nemo references to butter me up for this review. The Meg is a film that asks the question, what if the megalodon shark actually existed today? The answer? Well, call Jason Statham, apparently. As he and a team of scientists try to figure out how to deal with the consequences of their discovery, we get to see history's greatest predator in action. Where does it fall on a shark scale of Deep Blue Sea to Jaws? Well, let's find out with 5 things you might want to know about The Meg. Okay, so I didn't hate this movie, but I certainly didn't love it as well. Let's start with the good stuff. It is spectacular. There are some shots in this movie that are breathtaking. I think of the marketing for this movie, specifically posters, because I don't watch trailers, of some of those amazing shots of a giant shark chasing a regular sized shark, chasing a human. That's what this movie is all about. It's about the spectacle. And there are some really great visuals here that pepper throughout this movie that kind of make the big screen experience a lot of fun. And I don't want to understate this enough, because if you're willing to get past some of the negatives that I'm going to talk about, this probably is enough for you. And I do think it delivers on that spectacle, on that visual. There are definitely some moments that are jaw-dropping in this thing. One of the other things I like in this movie is that the shark actually acts like a shark. One of my main issues with a lot of shark movies is that the sharks don't seem to exhibit shark behavior. It's as if they have different intentions and different motives than just being a shark wanting to eat stuff. For the most part in this movie, I feel like they get the shark motivations right, which is what makes this different in some ways than a movie like Sharknado or even Deep Blue Sea, where they're supposedly super intelligent and making decisions. I feel like when they find this shark, it actually acts like a shark, and that's to the benefit of the movie. What I don't like about this shark, and this will hit us into the negatives, and there are a few, I actually think it's too big. Now, I know that's kind of the whole point of the movie, is that the megalodon, which, by the way, was a real creature, according to scientists who have dug up the jaws of these things. According to them, it was this size. But I'm telling you, as far as the excitement of the movie, I wonder if this shark is actually too big for us to understand the terror of it. There's something different about a great white that is going to take a limb off or chew you up than a big shark like this that is pretty much just going to swallow you. I mean, it's kind of no different than a blue whale if a blue whale decided to suck you in, right? Like, there's something different about an us-sized shark and a giant shark like this, and I think it's to the detriment of the film. The other thing I don't feel like the film gets right, not that this is what you're going to it for, but it definitely impacted me, is relationships. I don't feel like the relationships in this movie worked very well. Now, some of that has to do with some iffy acting that's going on here. I will say I actually like Jason Statham in this. I thought he was perfect and his role was cast very well. I did enjoy him here. Rainn Wilson, I think, does a decent job here. But everybody else around them isn't really putting in the work to make me buy into what's going on. So not only are the relationships kind of uninteresting, I'm not invested in them. And so in those moments where the movie wants me to take a break from the big shark action, I have nothing to occupy my brain, and that's a problem. And finally, the other thing that pulled me out of this movie, it's just a dumb people making dumb decisions movie. And that bothers me. These people are more lucky than they are clever. That's no fun. I just didn't care about them because of the decisions they were making. There's actually not a lot of surprises in this movie either. So that some of the decisions come off as not only eye-rolling, but also just kind of blah. So here's what I'll say. I'm going to give this a yellow because I don't think this is going to matter to people who are just there for this big shark taking on big people. But the human element of this was really distracting to me. Overall, I did not have a great time with The Meg. There is some spectacle here, and that's not to be understated, but there's enough wrong with it that it brought it down for me to a C+. Thanks for checking out this Your Movie Friend review. We'll get to the best ever challenge here in a bit. Before we do, though, let's connect further. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Aaron Dicer. You can follow me there. We'll chat about movies. I leave my DMs open, so feel free to connect in that way, ask questions, all that kind of fun stuff. You can also hit me up here on YouTube. I check the YouTube comments as well. Like to respond to those. I'm telling you, I love the fact that we get to chat about movies together. And so that's a lot of fun for me. So hit me up in either of those places. And also, make sure on YouTube to subscribe. You can hit the little alert bell if you like, so you make sure you know when videos are coming out. Let's also hang out at the podcast. It's SiftPop, SiftPop. You can search for it in whatever podcast player that you use. Just look for SiftPop. We do that weekly, talk about whatever movie the big movie is, some other pop culture stuff. We have a great time. So check that out. Let me know what you think, by the way. I'd love to hear what you think about the podcast. That's SiftPop, SiftPop. And thanks for supporting. We do have a Patreon, patreon.com/yourmoviefriend. Humbles me when I get those messages that somebody has thrown $3 my way this month. Thank you for doing that. Really means a lot to me that you want to keep this thing going. And so here I will keep this thing going as much as I can. So patreon.com/yourmoviefriend is where you go if you want to do that. All right, on to the best ever challenge, where you name the best movie ever in a particular category. Also try to identify my choice. Let's just do best ever shark movie. What is the best ever movie featuring a shark? I guess those are kind of two different things. I think mine's probably pretty obvious. I'm going to go with the one where the shark needed an intervention. Really did. Take a guess at mine in the comments. First person to get it right will get a point. I would love to hear your choice there as well. And as always, I'll give you a few extra seconds to hit subscribe. Just click my face.